Hello, my name is Kim Triolo. This is the 7th grade, and I go to Monte Dolorosa School. I played the guitar and I played the tambourine for 2 years, and now I play guitar. I was born in New Orleans and came to Independence at the age of 3. I was born in the year 1962. I made 12 in October of 74. We opened a shoe store in August of 74 and put a barbershop in the back of our shoe store. And we went, should I say, Mom and Dad went to our marriage encounter and came back all lovey-dovey. Yeah, she did get pregnant. She miscarried. Today is Dad's birthday, January 3rd. On the 8th of this month will be Karen's birthday, my sister. On the 30th of this month will be Kathy's birthday, my other sister. I was born October 23rd, and so was Mom. So these are going to be throwback pictures from a visit in 2024. It's my first communion. So before I can figure out which scanner I want to buy to handle these pictures properly, because if I download each one of these pictures of a picture, the MBs on them are just so high and the quality is not there. I can do a save as, but I'd be here forever. I want to properly scan these pictures. But in the meantime, I want to make sure I have a backup for in case anything ever happens to my cloud or my hard copies. I at least have this Facebook Live. See, those are all my 4-H prizes. So I'm doing Facebook Live to even further save more data, because when you run a cell phone for a while, those MBs add up too. That's me right there. High school. So I'll try to move these along 4-H. Here's our little 4-H. I'm trying to make sure I get the best quality here while we're doing this. That was in college, Rob Humphreys, computer geek friend. That was my senior prom, Matthew Pittman. It's me and my 2 sisters in the 70s. Sweet 16. Kathy and Angela Lucido. There's my sisters and me in our home in Chalmette, Louisiana. These are all my grade school pictures. Monte Dolorosa School. That was a little Catholic school in Independence, Louisiana. I think that's just a duplicate. Some of these I took a couple times just to make sure I had a good copy. So I was at my mom's condo because I was visiting them in the assisted living center. They had just moved in. And that night, I was staying in the condo and I was going to be taking home these pictures. So I thought, well, heck, let me snap some pictures and start digitizing these. Well, today they came up in my memory and they're just not the best quality. So I want to scan them. That was Fifi. That was our puppy dog. There's that sweet 16 again. Probably 15. I was at the dress shop I used to work at next door to the shoe store that we opened that I was talking about in that little letter that I had typed in 7th grade. This was at my grandma Marie's house. We lived in that house for a couple years before we went into the brick house that we built. This is another Monte Dolorosa school, and there is my blow cherry. Yep, the Miss LaRussa, Father Aldridge. Don't remember her name. Yep. Shirley Bomb. That's my Facebook profile picture, by the way. It's Mom and Dad when they went to the marriage encounter that I was talking about where she came back pregnant. Woohoo. That's Winston, Grace Lutheran Church. He was Buff Jesus. And that's Winston and me playing the bongo. I did music at Grace Lutheran Church for about 5 years. There's Winston, football player. Here's Winston again with the guitar. He was doing the Fort Worth busking through the Musicians Union. This is Winston when he was in gymnastics. AISD recognized. This is a letter that I had written, which I will not read, but it was pretty much like one of those you get for Christmas that kind of updates you on everything going on in everybody's world. I think it was Graham's party I threw at the Student Lutheran Center. This was in Nacogdoches, Louisiana, with Boom Pa, all the motorcycle guys. I'm going to try not to shake. That's my mother-in-law. So pretty. There's some more of the burly guys. Okay, this is Weezer and Winston's band. And he was going to LSU. Opened for Weezer. And I'm laughing about something. This is at Kenny's dad's house for Christmas. There's Winston. This is in my house. Back to my senior prom, Matthew Pittman. Winston Snaggletooth. Here's Winston on the horse. Power Ranger Winston. That's Boom Pa's boat. Bubba's. Soccer Winston. All right, so this is the Christmas tree at my mom's house before they moved into the duplex, the condo, before they moved into the assistant living center. There's little Graham. See, he's hiding. He used to go behind the couches and poop. Oh, I shouldn't be mentioning that. This is going to be a public thing. Sorry, Graham. Oh, cute. Painter Graham. I got a duplicate there when Graham was doing karate. Try to back up so we can see the whole picture. Boom Pa, Winston on the bike, boy, serious Winston. Karate Winston. That's a cool picture. That's when I graduated at UT Arlington. Oh, Winston. My Rude Awakening. It was a youth band Winston was in. All right, so this is Mardi Gras. Here, my husband must be in the tree. That's my friend Lindsay, and there I am. And watch out, I'm gonna flash you. It's a T-shirt with, I guess that was Lindsay's shirt because I don't remember that shirt. Okay, this is back at my house. Kenny's dad, Wanda. There I am. I don't know. We didn't have cats or birds at the time because the door's wide open. There's Karen. It's a luxury to stand there with the door wide open these days. And that's a little Graham as a toddler at Mom's house. All right, so this is my wedding cake. Now we got wedding pictures. So these are Kenny's friends. Tina back there, Loretta, Aaron. There's Aaron. Me and Winston dancing. There's long-haired Winston. There's me and Kenny having our couples dance. This was at the Lonesome Dove, which is now that Portado's barbecue place in Arlington. My sister Kathy with the balloons. This was for my wedding. There's me and Daddy. And me and Winston dancing again. Me and my sister. This is the house across from the high school in Independence, Louisiana when we were. There I'm delivering Graham. Or I delivered Graham. I don't see my dummy. Nope. Graham's not in there anymore. Mike Anzalone. My sister. Craig May. High school. Independence, Louisiana. Then I went to work in Norco for a hospital supply company. I love Halloween. Can you tell? Oops. All right. This was 8th grade. Confirmation. My Aunt Marilyn. Is that a duplicate? Yep, it's a duplicate. I think that was 9th grade. I think that's a duplicate. Me and Chuck Bigner. I dated him as a senior for a little while. One of the sisters. Andrew, Sister Andrew. Kathy, and there's me. And then there is Candiota Canali. I can't remember. Sedadina. Hope you feel better. Love you, Julie. She died of leukemia. I was just a sophomore when she passed. Got me on my environmental quest. I think she was exposed. That's my dad decorating. Huh. I think that's second grade. Winston in his Power Ranger world. More confirmation. That was my first husband, choice self. I think this was some kind of it was the 50th anniversary from my grandparents, I think. And then this was when me and Choice Self got married. This is me from Mata Dolorosa Catholic School. I think that's Charles Genovese. We were doing an Easter pageant play. And funny, I got to be in The Chosen, season 2, episode 5. No, season 5, episode 2. That was my wedding again. I don't know if there's anybody next. Yeah, Troy's brother, Carl. Don't want to miss anybody. I was a cheerleader. I got like second runner-up for Miss Italian Festival. I think I jazzed that dress up myself. There's Kenny and Graham and Erin, my niece. My mom and Winston. I forget where we were at on that overlook. We were at the hotel. There's Winston, my dad, and Graham, and Erin holding Graham. I remember Graham rolled off the bed. I was busy looking at my laminates, and I thought Erin was watching him. And he hit his head, and his mouth was bleeding. Let's see. There's Kenny. There's Kathy, my sister. She was a cheerleader, too. Troy Dewey, I dated him after me and Troy Self broke up. And then I moved to Texas when our hospital supply company relocated their customer service. I remember I got a pay raise when I got here because they said, you're going to need a cost of living. This is that Boom Pa's shop. Now, this was on Boom Pa's boat. That's me when I was a baby. Tim Feelgood. Here's my husband, Kenny Phil and Graham. We were at the zoo. This was my cousin, I think. We're still friends on Facebook. I can't remember his name. Darn it. I think I was in, 10th grade. Look at Graham when he was a baby. He was so top heavy, he used to fall forward. Graham. That picture has a stain on it. There we go. Graham's hair. Snaggle too. Graham Junior High, Bailey football. Graham. And that's Graham too. Here I am with Graham. And there we are. Infant Winston, infant Graham. There's Noodles, benzene. I'm not sure if this is part of, okay, so let me make sure. Nope, it continues. All right, so there is Kathy. Looks like Uncle Reek. My sister Karen, Stephen, Mark, and Aaron. Aaron, my dad, and Graham. Aaron, my niece. Okay. These are my Aunt Lee's side of the family. Uncle Joe. Sammy. Aaron. At my grandma's house. Here's Winston and Aaron. Winston and Aaron. I'm glad I zoomed in. Believe me, online it's real grainy. So there's Todd Baham. He passed. That was my sister's husband's brother. His other brother Butch and Dave passed as well. That little bitty girl. It's Aaron. Yeah. I think. No, it can't be Aaron because Aaron's, well, that's Aaron holding Graham, and there's a 5-year difference. We're back at that overlook. Aaron, Winston, Graham. That's Aaron and Stephen, my sister's 2 kids. That's my Grandma Lena, my daddy's mama. She was a Vitrano. Stephen and Aaron. Winston and Aaron. They're on the rocks. I think that's Stephen. Yes. All right, so we got Aaron, Graham, Winston, Stephen. This is at the house across from the library from Independence. There's Mom and Dad at the shoe store, barbershop in the back. My grandpa's. That's my mom's dad and my dad's dad. Sam Costanza. Charlie Triolo. And my daddy's sister, Aunt Sina. And her mom and dad, Charlie and Lena. And Kitty. This is at the house. I think that same picture is sideways. Okay, I think that's it for this one. So now we're going to go to April 27th because I had some extra pictures that I came home and took some more pictures. Oh no, it was after midnight and I was taking pictures. That's why my cloud is showing me more pictures on a separate day. And like I said, I was up late snapping pictures. I was going to go to the Jazz Fest to watch Winston with Motel Radio, Jazz Fest 2024. Now, they're not doing Jazz Fest 2025. And so instead of showing you the Jazz Fest stuff, I want to go to make sure I'm done here, which I think I am. That was their Jazz Fest performance. But on the way home from the Jazz Fest, I drove by myself, got in trouble with the weather. So this pretty much was the weather that I had to I'm trying to shut this off. You gotta go. All right. So I had to take cover in the Home Depot. So that was that trip. So when I'm home now, I got more pictures. Or this was actually part of the visit at the Assisted Living Center before I came home. I think that was in the video. I took screen prints just so I'd have a copy of where they landed in their final days. And now my mom is in the memory care ward. It's My sister and dad. Okay. Another convenient picture. And I think that's it. And then that was my rescue cat. All right, so now we're going to go to when I got home. There was a few things I hadn't yet scanned. And I made it home. The tornado didn't kill me. That's my first husband, Troy Self. He was a musician with the band called Destiny. We were at the house across from the high school with all those 70s pictures in the background. There's Winston. This was a story about my grandfather who survived paralysis, my mom's dad. And there he is, surrounded by all the nurses and Uncle Charles Genovese. And actually, he had the Gillian beret, and it's the actual story. And this is Layla Bayham's art as a child. I asked her if she wanted me to mail it to her. Okay, so I think this was Jazz Fest 2016 for them. So this last one, not really last, second to last. This was my husband Kenny's grandma's diary from 1936. And I just took a few pictures of that just to remember that we had that. And there's actually a picture in there. So I thought that was something worth sharing in my last set of throwbacks. This was the Party Lion, Cooper helping me out here. It was a t-shirt when I went to Southeastern Louisiana University. There's Graham, his mugshot for his braces. This, my cousin Joe Triolo. He cut hair like my dad did. And another throwback relatives picture. But it's Tammy Amar's old folks. Tammy went to school with me. Well, no, her mom and dad. I worked for them at the dress shop next to the shoe store. This is the church I went to across from the Catholic school I went to. And this would be an example of some of the weddings. Okay. Here I am up there cheerleading Independence High School. All right, there's my Aunt Rose. All right, this is a throwback picture of Kenny and his friends. There's Kenny holding Graham. There, you can see better there. And even better there. This was a collage. Winston Graham. This was my Uncle Sammy and his wife Aunt Lucy. They're both gone now. My mom's older brother. That was their wedding picture. Goofy me. I think that was my sister's wedding. This was my first husband's dad, Carl Sr. So now these are in my throwback because I wondered when I watched Soul Train, whatever became of her. That's kind of like a throwback too. All right, so this is Independence, Louisiana. The Anzalone family reunion. And there's Mr. Sam, my music mentor, a.k.a. Dirty Old Man. And this was art by Winston or Graham. All right, this is Kenny's first girlfriend, Donna Villinger. She's remarried. I can't remember her name. That's Kenny's sister, Karen. And Karen's son, Bobby. Here's Kenny, throwback, with the long hair. Here's his dad and Wanda. Here's Winston, Jay Gilligan's. Okay, I don't know how that got in there. All right, my mama's mom, Grandma Marie. And this was the old folks' house. I don't know if it's gonna. There's my mom when my mom was a little girl. My grandpa Sam. Again, Aunt Sina, Grandma Lena, Grandpa Charlie. I can't remember who she was. Winky's wife's older sister, Papa Charlie. There's the Jay. His name is Jake Vitrano. Can you tell? Grandma and his brother. And that's the Italian festival. I think that's me up on that riser. I like to think that is. And in Independence, Louisiana, we had a train depot. And when Grandpa Sam was sick for all that time with the Guillain-Barré and a heart attack, there was a welcoming party. All right, so this is my Mick Jagger throwback picture. All right, there I am in Sarpy, Louisiana, when I was married to Troy Self, enjoying some beer and sunshine with Galarma Brown. And there's Troy Self, the musician. My Grandpa Sam and Troy Self painted that picture for him. And Uncle Sammy in the back, they're both gone. And me and Rio, my throwback. This was Connie wrote to Carnegie, Carlogi Triolo, barbering throwback. Don't know what that says. All right, so I think that's my engagement night. I got my ring. And there's a family photo. My mom and dad, my sisters, their husbands, my niece, me and Graham, and Mama Marie sitting down. Papa Bob with the fish, which is Kenny's dad. Big Fish. And there I am with Robin Millay. I think that could be Donna Villinger. I can't see. There I am as a mascot, 3rd grade, Independence Parade, Tigers. There's my grandma and Aunt Cena holding Winston. All right, there's my Facebook friend Carla, my mom, Kathy, me, my sister Karen in her groovy shirt. All right, so this is a birthday party, and I'm reading my birthday card. There's Mary Lynn Harryard, Cindy Layutza, Kathy, Nicolette, I think. My friend Julie Patinella, who died of leukemia I was telling about earlier, threw me a surprise birthday party. Here I am, blowing out the candles. And my aunt, Angelina, she was mentally wandered off and died. Anyway, That was Monka Sammy with her two, Joellen Patinella, Julie's sister, the CYO talent show. And old Gennaro store in Independence, so we'll call that a throwback. They had some vintage stuff. I used to love to buy their stuff that had gotten old. And there's Joe again, Joe Triolo cutting hair. And there's that picture again. Not bad for a Xerox. Me and Winston. Troy Dewey and my mom. And then I think that's my dad right there in his throwback picture from when he was in school. And there's my Grandpa Sam with my cousin Angela. And this is a 1954 Independence High throwback, just to give you an idea of what they look like in Independence in 1954. And there's my Aunt Rosie, and she's with, she had a second husband that my mom fixed her up with that was one of her relatives. There's Joe Triolo cutting hair again. There's Aunt Rosie one more time with my mama and my dad. I don't know who they're holding. And there is Winston's grandma, Mama Jean, She passed away a couple years ago. Oops, I don't want to enter the date and time. That was a really cool car that she's posing with. That's Tong, Winston's biological dad. That's Uncle Jason. That's Kenny's old baseball shirt. It was a throwback baseball shirt. And there's Joe Triolo again, my cousin Joe. Robin Villinger and his baby girl, Raven. There's Troy Self in his little bikini. The Winky side of the family, his wife and his son. Uncle Winky passed. There's my daddy when he was young. Strawberry fields are us. That's kind of what I grew up on. My grandma and Grandpa Charlie Triolo's farm. They were strawberry farmers. That was my toy xylophone, styrofoam record player in 7th grade. So I was making music for as long as I can remember. Here's Winston with somersault. And that's Tong, his biological father, doing his little handstand. I'm just showing the flexibility there. That's Tong's mom, Mama Jean, and she was so much fun. And we had some family videos for Christmas of 2023 that we plugged in and started watching, and I was bootlegging. So we're doing a bootleg of a bootleg of a bootleg. That was Silverbird. These are just print screens of, I have no idea what I'm holding, but probably a video recorder. And it's Graham, and that's me. I think we kind of look alike. And that was a throwback from around the year 2000. Kenny and his friends, really. My Grandpa Sam and my nephew Stephen at a 4th of July parade in Independence, Louisiana. There's Graham running in Papa Bob, Kenny's dad's backyard. Mama Wanda lives there right now. She was left behind when Papa Bob died. There's Winston and Graham. Winston emo. Graham's on his first backpacking trip. And now he lives in Montana because he's a backpacker. Papa Bob's. This is a sweet picture. You won't see this often because Winston lives in Portland and Graham lives in Montana. And they're all grown up. Mama Wanda. Christmas? Okay. We're almost done here. So, yeah. I wasn't supposed to turn the camera sideways. I don't think Facebook Live allows that. We'll see what happened there. There's my mom and dad at a wedding. Back in the day. Grandpa Sam eating spaghetti. Back in the day. That's us when we went to Grace Lutheran Church. Every year they'd make you take a picture. Cheerleaders picked. And there's Kim Triola. That's all old school stuff there. There's my mom from the 70s. Oh no. I don't know what happened. Well, I'm just going to go back to here. Strawberry picking. Early Costanza's family. And there is another Monte Dolorosa one. That's probably a duplicate of what you've seen already. Yeah. And so there we go. We're back on track. It's me and my sisters. I'm back here. My cousin Barbara, Roxanne, Barbara, Rhonda, Kathy's my sister. Winston and the Splits. There's Winston at the zoo. This one is Carolyn Parker Throwback. She passed away. She's somebody I met through Truth Vinyl. Okay, John Bentabania. and Ann Emerson, high school friends. Independence High School football. My friend Mike Anzalone. All right. Kenny with his hog hunting. My dad showing my ex-father-in-law Carl Sr. self his gun collection. And that was Miss Betty. That's Kenny's cousins. Throwback picture. And that's sweet. That's little Graham. That's Graham with his grandma Karen. And those are the home movies that we had taken. These are some to-do items that I have to download those home movies. All right, so this was a picture of my dad when he, right there, was learning how to be a barber. There he is. And that's his cousin Joe Triolo. Right there. And he passed. Stephen Khaki. This is Marilyn, Lee, Lucy, and Lee, Johnny, Rick, Ron, Chrissy, Costanza. Oh, there's another picture here in the bottom. Oh, my leg fell asleep. I got ants on my foot. Oh, shit. Okay, there's that Mick Jagger throwback. I don't know. Oh, yeah, this is solar panel Feil throwback. She's at my Aunt Lee's house. Okay. It's a really cool picture. It's just that my leg fell asleep and I'm dying over here. Recipe throwback. Oh, yeah, that was a comparison. This is some more Independence people. They were colorful enough that I thought I'd include them. This is my Aunt Lee's big family. I think she had like 6 kids. I used to love to go over there. Some more throwbacks you've already seen. And okay, that's it. Oh, nope. Here's my mom. You've seen that 4-H one already. These might be duplicates, and that's okay because those are the ones that I had downloaded. I have a sort on duplicate. This is Winston's throwback art from junior high. And this is the Dinglers, Winston's friends from high school, 2011. And
this is on my cloud from the end of July.
This is my first attempt on that cloud. And I think we're done. Thank you for watching. And when I get my scanner going, it's going to be so much better to have this done properly. This looks like Valmaria. I can't believe I'm not getting this. And I got that one. Yeah, here's that Markham School when Dad graduated, learning how to cut hair. See his little picture down there? Yeah. This was La Puma Beach Campground. That's that Tong picture you saw earlier. My mom and her sisters. Her brother, Uncle Ronnie. Oh, this is with me at Mata Dalla Rosa Catholic School. That would be me right there. Yeah, the nuns taught us. Mata Dalla Rosa Catholic School. Yeah, that's an old, fragile picture. Here's Graham with Raven and Ramy. Here's Tong. That's that Tong picture I tried to show you earlier. It was just, there's that car picture I tried to show you earlier. I'm glad I'm able to see these better on this line of photos. So, under my throwback, I had gotten interrupted. I just want to make sure that we've got them all. Yeah, I think we got them all. Yeah, this is the only one we hadn't done. He passed, my cousin Jojo, Uncle Charles Genovese, and my mom. What is this?
This is on my cloud from the end of July of 2016. I was going to my family's house in Louisiana, stopped in Galveston, took a detour. Look at that.
I don't know about what this is. I guess I'm doing another one of those family things. This was a 2016 family visit, mostly wedding throwback slideshow pictures.
There's some pictures that I took pictures of pictures while I was visiting in 2016. And I can count the times I visited my family since I moved away from there, and I'm really sad because I hadn't visited a lot. Have not. And then during the pandemic, I didn't visit at all. It was my grandma and grandpa, and that was on my dad's side. And this is my grandpa and grandma on my mom's side, and my sister Kathy's first husband, James Isaac. And that was my boyfriend, Chuck Bigner, in high school, and my cousin Timmy. And he did pass away. Her ex passed away. And that's my grandma Marie, Aunt Matilda, my mom, my Aunt Arlie, and Aunt Annie. And she has since passed away. And this was my sister's wedding. And it's me, my mom, my dad, my sister Kathy. And that was, I think, the original coloring. And that was, I don't know what I was trying to do, but I don't like that edit. This edit is too light as well. And that was the original coloring, I think. Yeah, that was the original coloring. This is my grandpa Charlie, and my grandma Lena, Karen and her husband Mark Bayham, and my mama Marie, and Papa Sam Costanza, and that was when my sister got married, and that was the grandparents' picture. And this is Mom's oldest sister and her husband Rick Williams. So Aunt Annie and Rick both have passed on, and this is just me in my Miss Tina's Fashions dress. And
that's where I used to work, next to the shoe store.
Us again for Kathy's wedding. I like the coloring I edited on that one. I can't remember who these were. I'm going to have to ask around.
$1 Rosa School.
I did take a close
in
look
the church across
boys.
from the school.
I think one of them is a relation. Now this is 4th of July. My grandpa Sam Costanza and my nephew Stephen Bayham. And they were in the parade, and they were quite the event there. Strawberry Farming. I don't know who that man is. My sister Karen on a pony. I was hoping to have the one where Kathy was on a pony and where I was on a pony, but when I was taking pictures of pictures, I don't know. But I did get Layla and her playful picture. And her daddy, Stephen, and he was young in high school, and his sister Erin. And that was the brother-sister picture. And this is a picture Stephen's probably going to hate me for posting, because doesn't he look like that guy in that movie? I can't remember what it was, but that is Layla when she was a baby. We're back to Kathy's wedding pictures again. They weren't really organized. Cousin Tina, Cousin Sharon, Cousin Rhonda. That was James's mom's relation. And so that was Kathy's wedding picture. So that's... Look at my cousin Rhonda. Oh. So, that was her dress. And this is my first wedding. I've only been married twice, but that was Troy, self, and his brother Carl.
You've seen that one already. This must be.
And I wish I'd had a picture of his mom, Miss Betty. She passed
video
away.
I made
Carl
of
passed away.
everything weddings with my family.
Everybody is shining in this in this picture. This was the original coloring.
I'm just gonna let this play out.
Take some of the shine out. This is at the wedding. And that's my sister Kathy, my dad. That's me. There's Miss Betty and Troy. And then
I hit my elbow. It's terrible.
I hate that picture because it looks like I'm buttoning my sister out. And that's my dad walking us down the aisle, walking me down the aisle. I don't know why that picture's turned sideways, but I'm going to move along. And that's just me adjusting my headpiece. It was my drama. Okay, so when I finished taking pictures of pictures, Randy, with all his little doggies, that's my sister's second husband, and they still have a lot of doggies. A lot of these may have already passed by now, and they have a new round. And then this is my sister Karen and Kathy. This is at our house near Denham Springs. There's my mom in the rocking chair. And I don't know what happened here. My recording is acting stupid.
And this was in 2016.
Okay. There we go. And there's Mom and Dad at the restaurant. And I picked up my childhood hat. My sister Karen was going to hang on to it for a while, but then she let me go ahead and have it in a monkey. I had to have that vintage monkey. We went to visit my Uncle Ronnie, my mama's baby brother. And then we were at the nursing home to go see my grandma Marie. And that's me and my sister Karen. The brightness is not intended for recording. Okay, I may have to redo this video. And there I am hugging her. And there she's waving. And then this actually, a month later, went to my class reunion. So I think we're done. It's a funny picture. Bye.